Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right, how are we?
I'm all right. How are you, Per? You're on holidays, aren't you guys?
You're on mute, Clarky. You're on mute.
Mute.
Going on there. Is that better?
Yeah,
That's a lot better. We can hear you.
Oh, weird.
How are you?
Yeah, well, thanks. How about yourself?
Good. I saw your face. I saw you saying something and you looked very happy, but that's why I was like, oh, I can't hear him. But yeah,
So
good.
either I'm on mute or you're deaf. Let's
Yeah,
go with
it
I'm
could
on
be
mute.
either.
Have you, Per, or not have you, Per, all three of you had like a lovely wintry long weekend?
Yes.
Yes,
I would
definitely.
say yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's
good. Yeah, as it's been jam-packed with, farm work, bathroom renos, all that sort of stuff. So
Jeepers.
it's nice to kind of sit down. We had a massage earlier, so now nice to just sit down and talk with you lot.
Ooh la la.
How about you?
Is this bathroom reno to do with the tile damage story?
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. Yep. Another week or so till it's done.
That was caused by your lack of maintenance, but not really.
Oh, the silicone at the base of the shower, that old
Allegedly.
chestnut. Yeah. So much leaking from our showers that it soaked the boards
walls.
below the tiles. Yeah, and the walls. Gosh.
Jeepers.
Yeah. I don't have any news. It's been a good weekend. No news is good news. I suppose we should introduce ourselves. I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky, and together we are
Trial by
Wine.
And what are we drinking?
Well, I've had a very large weekend, so mine is, I probably should be drinking water, but I've got a Coke
A
Zero.
Coke Zero, right. A large weekend. I
Yes.
see.
Yes, I had a ladies' lunch on Friday that had some sort of kick-ons after.
Right.
And I was in bed by, I think I went to bed at 8 o'clock. A little bit messy.
It's a lunch though.
Brilliant.
Long day. Yeah.
Yeah, so not
Boozy
like, I
lunch,
woke up
love
with a
it.
hangover at about 10 going, oh God,
no,
I feel
that's the
dreadful.
worst. Oh.
Anyway, but then because I was in bed for so long, I was fine by the next day. And then yesterday we went out on a friend's boat and we had like this incredible weather. Like if you didn't know that it was winter, there were 2 yesterday and today have been similar. It was just glorious. So we're just out on the river and it was totally still. And then coming back at sort of, sundown at 5, it looked like it was like a summer's night when it was getting dark. And it just was so still and so pretty. It was beautiful. So we had a little bit of a drink on board there too. So I need to sort of, well, I don't need to. It's Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Say no more.
School
Yeah.
night.
Yes. What about you guys? What are you drinking?
Boys?
We've taken a leaf out of Schmitty's book and we've got some
You're making your own hard
Soda
rated.
Stream. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you're on the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
I too am having homemade hard rated. Yep.
Delicious.
So I'm cheating a little bit because Costco, if you'd like to be a sponsor of ours, you know where to contact us. But I'm having the actual solo drink, not the
Legit.
Soda Stream made one yet, with Mishka vodka. Because, as I was saying, Costco sell soft drinks really quite reasonably priced.
I was wondering where we're going with the Costco thing then. Right. So that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So who's got a story for us today?
I do.
Excellent.
Excellent.
What are you going to tell us?
I'm going to go straight in with my sources just so I don't forget them. It's only a short list.
Okay.
Facebook, Wikipedia, and 7 News.
Okay.
Oh.
And I tell you why Facebook, because what have you been doing this for? Like nearly 4 years or something ridiculous?
It is nearly 4 years, yes.
Goodness. Yeah. All the research we do, I think Facebook's clocked me as either someone who's trying
Serial
to kill someone or someone who researches a lot. Anyway, on my Facebook feed came up a storyline and it said breaking, like big breaking, as in breaking news, murderer attacked in prison. And then there was a subheading that said he'd been seriously bashed in a prison shower block. So I'm like, what? I've got to look into this. So as Facebook users would know, you can't believe everything you read. So I'd like to point out that whilst the headline read breaking, it was a story from July 2019, so almost 6 years prior to today. But the rest of it was pretty spot on. So
cool.
in a scene reminiscent of Prisoner / Wentworth, or probably
Cell Block H?
Orange is the New Black.
Was it called Cell Block H in the UK, I think?
In the UK.
It was, yeah.
Right.
But involving men rather than women.
Oh.
Our convicted criminal was set upon by 8, and I did see 10, but 8 prisoners in the shower block of the prison
Wasn't
where
very
he was
well liked.
where he was bashed and beaten.
Oh.
He was taken to Long Bay Hospital to stay indefinitely whilst undergoing treatment for his injuries. So, just like you'd expect from a Prisoner or Wentworth storyline, he maintains that he fell over in the shower and won't cooperate with authorities to reveal who bashed him.
Good idea.
I slipped.
Yes, and I feel like we could
I
almost...
slipped a lot. I slipped
a lot,
on my
repeatedly.
kidneys. I slipped on my head.
Yeah, every bone in my body got slipped on.
I fell on my own fist in and punched myself in the face when I slipped. That's right.
I fell so hard I knocked my teeth out. I don't. I don't know that happened. So I hope by now you're wondering who he is and what he did.
Yes.
Well, so his name is Gary Murphy, and he is one of the men convicted of killing Anita Cobby.
Cobby.
Well done. You were right. You were red hot with that buzzer.
When you said it was one of the men, that was where my mind went straight to. If you had have just said he did whatever, it was one of the men, then that's what I know was a group.
So for people who don't know, Anita Cobby's murder is one of those stories that most Australians will have heard of, but may not know the detail of. So I thought I would share the story with you.
Oh, excellent, because it's been a long time, but it's definitely part of my formative years, and it sits somewhere in the periphery of my things that I'm too scared to think about.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? When I start to look at it,
100%.
I have to pull back because I can't really handle it. So this is a great crime, actually. Very interesting.
Yeah, well, sorry to do this to you.
I think it's really interesting. I'm glad you're doing it and not me. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know it.
Really?
Oh.
It doesn't ring a bell.
So it was all over the news at the time.
Certainly a New South Wales thing, I think.
Yeah, well, I certainly remember it, and maybe that was because I went up there a bit. Brace yourself. I think, Swanee, as you alluded to, there's definitely a trigger warning on this one.
Yeah. You've taken us out of Victoria, if I'm correct.
I have indeed, yes.
The Victorian Tourism Bureau, thank you.
just to prove that bad things happen outside of Victoria, and I'm ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yes.
Anita Lorraine Cobby, nee Lynch, was born in Sydney on the 2nd of November 1959 and lived in Blacktown, New South Wales. Her parents were Gary Lynch, a graphic artist with the Royal Australian Air Force, and Grace Peggy Lynch, nurse. As a teenager, Anita participated in beauty pageants, including winning the Miss Western Suburbs pageant in November 1979, and she had a promising career ahead of her as a model. However, she decided instead to follow in her mother's footsteps and became a nurse. And it kind of makes me think that she's one of those people, because she was very pretty, and she, the pictures that they plastered everywhere were of this beautiful brunette woman. She was really quite stunning. But it makes me think that because she chose to go into nursing, she was one of those people not only beautiful on the outside, but also on the inside. Like,
correct.
How some, well, I say most, if not all nurses, are just so caring and giving.
Yep.
It just seems like that was kind of who she was, and kind of made me think, who knows how many people she may have saved in her lifetime, but for what happened. Anyway, Anita met her first husband, John Cobby, while studying for her nursing degree at Sydney Hospital. They married on the 27th of March 1982, and the couple later separated, and Anita moved in with her parents in Blacktown. However, according to John, he and Anita were on good terms and were planning to reconcile. Now, Anita worked in Sydney and commuted daily from her home in Blacktown. On the 2nd of February 1986, she finished work at Sydney Hospital at about 3 p.m. and met friends for dinner in nearby Redfern. She then caught a train from Central Railway Station to Blacktown Station. Arriving at Blacktown, she would usually ring her father, who would pick her up. However, on this particular day, the phone was out of order and there were no taxis around. So she began walking home. Anita was walking alone from the station along Newtown Road in Blacktown at about 10 p.m. when a gang of 5 men drove up beside her and stopped their stolen white HT Holden Kingswood.
Ugh.
2 men leapt from the car and dragged her into the vehicle as she kicked and screamed.
Jesus.
And we know she kicked and screamed because a teenage boy, his younger sister, and his mother heard someone screaming from the street in front of their house and ran outside in time to see Anita forced into the attacker's car. The boy ran across the road to help, but the car drove off before he reached it. So he went back inside and telephoned the police to report what he had seen. A few minutes later, their neighbour and his girlfriend arrived home, and after being told of the abduction, drove off to search for the car. And how's this? They eventually drove down Reen Road, now known as Peterbrock Drive, Prospect, where they found an empty Holden. The man got out of the car and searched the adjacent paddock looking for any sign of Anita or her abductors. And despite his searching, he saw nothing in the paddock, and he figured that the car he saw was a different model Holden, so he returned home. The attackers later stated that they had hidden in the long grass to avoid the spotlight and waited for the man to leave. That's how close he was to finding them. I'll describe what happened next, and this is where things get terrifying, so please brace yourself. The men took Anita back into the car, and Anita was ordered to strip off her clothes, but she refused, begging her attackers to let her go and saying that she was married and also menstruating. Her attackers punched her repeatedly, breaking her nose and both cheekbones before forcing her to perform fellatio on all 5 men. The attackers then drove to a service station to purchase fuel using money stolen from Anita's purse. Anita was then driven down Reen Road to a secluded paddock while being held down in the car, raped repeatedly, and being continually beaten by her 5 attackers. They then dragged the brutally beaten Anita into the paddock along a barbed wire fence, where they dumped her and continued to sexually and physically abuse her for some time. According to his taped confession, one of the attackers, John Travers, then became concerned that Anita could identify them because she had seen their faces and heard their names. And he became convinced that they had to kill her. Urged on by the others, Travers slit her throat so badly that he almost severed her head.
Oh, God.
And this is where she was left by her murderers. When Anita did not return home, her family initially thought that she was staying overnight with a friend. But after learning that she failed to appear at work the next day, they reported her missing on the 3rd of February. On the morning of the 4th of February, her naked body was found in the paddock by a farmer investigating what his cows were milling around. Anita's, they were all standing around going, what is this? Anita's body was initially identified by her distinctive wedding ring, which was still on her finger when she was found. Her estranged husband, John, was initially suspected of her murder, but was quickly cleared. Now, Wikipedia states that the Australian public reacted with anger upon hearing details of Anita's murder. And as I said earlier, listeners, certainly of our vintage, will no doubt remember this being all over the news at the time. I was probably too young. I don't recall all of that anger, but I certainly recall it being everywhere. On the 6th of February, the New South Wales government posted a $50,000 reward, equivalent to $149,000 in 2022 dollars, so a little bit more than that nowadays, for information leading to capture of Anita's killers. Also on the 6th of February, morning radio host John Laws obtained a leaked copy of her autopsy report, which contained explicit details of her injuries. Do you remember John Laws?
We do.
Very, very well.
Yes.
When we were at Fox
Had an
Telly,
office at the end of our office.
Aha, there you go. So he was obviously for those who don't know, he was all over the radio at the time. And he was given the nickname Golden Tonsils.
Well, was he?
Which is presumably for his distinctive voice, not something else. Tonsillitis would give you golden tonsils, wouldn't it? Red and inflamed, but maybe a little bit of pus. Anyway, too much?
Yeah.
Too much.
So, probably in true John Laws style, in what was a very bold move, He read the autopsy report live on air, both
no.
shocking and galvanising public sentiment. And in a 2016 interview with 7 News, Laws said he did it because he felt the general public ought to know and that it incited anger in the public that murders like this were happening and the public weren't being given the full details. So, I mean, we often talk about the media getting involved and in the way of crime or of the legal process.
Yes. For me, I think there's a question about who decides what is in the public's interest. So I think the media takes this view of it's in the public's interest to know this, and perhaps in the Anita Cobby case that's true, but often they're sharing things that are not in the public interest.
I think that's right.
Especially if it stops the legal fraternity from being able to get a conviction.
True.
Yeah, that's right. If they get in the way, it's a different story, I guess. But yeah, quite interesting that he did that. Anyway, on the 9th of February, police reenacted Anita's movements on the night of her disappearance in the hope of jogging the memories of travellers or others who might have seen her.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, yes.
You're probably going to cover this, but the people that were the witnesses initially when she was abducted from the street, they did call the police, didn't they?
They did, yes.
And they haven't made that connection yet.
Yeah, sorry. So the witnesses didn't know who the men were. They just saw her.
So they've actually got that bit of information.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I see that, like what you're saying. Yeah, it's part of the investigation. Okay.
Yeah, so they know that there were the 5 men involved and they just need to work out who they are. So Constable Debbie Wallace wore similar clothing to Anita and travelled the 9:12 p.m. train to Blacktown. Detectives interviewed the passengers and showed them photos of Anita Wallace walked the length of the train during the journey. So they're really trying to just see if there might have been somebody who, because I'm presuming that they were wondering whether somebody on the train followed her off the train. And then it went that way. Following a tip-off from a police informant regarding the stolen Holden, police started searching for Travers, Michael Murdoch, and get this, brothers Les, Michael, and Gary Murphy.
Far out.
Yep. 3 of the 5 were brothers.
Gross.
Oh.
Wrong.
After they discovered that some of them had a history of violence and that Travers had a reputation for carrying a knife. Yeah, God, I mean, imagine the poor parents of the 3 brothers. I'm assuming the poor parents were horrified by what happened, not proud of it, but...
Or they're ferals.
Imagine if you had 3 sons and they did that.
No. Yeah.
You couldn't look at them, could you?
No.
So on the 21st of February, police arrested Travers and Murdoch at the home of Travers' uncle and Les Murphy at Travers' house. Murdoch and Murphy were charged with offences relating to stolen cars and released on police bail. Travers, who admitted that he had stolen a car, made conflicting statements about the murder and was detained in police custody. While in custody, he requested that a friend be called so she could bring him cigarettes. The phone number was handed to the investigating police, who contacted the friend, a woman. The woman, Travers' girlfriend, eventually dubbed Miss X, agreed to help with the investigation, met with an officer and gave him details of Travers' background. Now, before I go on, I'd just like to acknowledge the bravery of Miss X for doing what she did next, because...
He must have been a piece of work, eh?
All right. Yeah, and I'll get to him a little bit later. So, having just discovered that her boyfriend was potentially a rapist and murderer, she agreed to hide a recording device in her bra.
She didn't say, "Oh no, not John. He could never have done
that."
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yes. Where would you like me to hide that recording device?
I reckon she's gone. If there's a potential that any of this is true, I'll do it. That's I didn't read that anywhere, but it kind of felt like she was just going, that's horrific. It's, after what John Laws had done, after how public this was, I reckon she's gone, I am not going to try to cover for this at all. In fact, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it. So she agreed to hide a recording device in her bra. Miss X was subsequently sent back in to talk to Travers in his cell and was able to obtain a confession. She later went to Murdoch's home while wearing the concealed recording device to capture his statements on tape as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year is this? 80 what?
86.
86, yeah.
Can you imagine this concealed recording device? I've just got this idea of a big tape deck.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
In my bra. Luckily, I'm a bull D.
Why are you carrying that boombox?
It's just my thing now.
I saw say anything.
And I can't get over it.
It's the 80s, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so she got the confession, which led to all 5 men being arrested and charged with the murder. Police were praised for their quick response in capturing all suspects involved. In total, 22 days had elapsed from the time of the
That's
murder to the
fast.
time all suspects were taken into
Yeah.
custody. Well done, team. Hey, that's pretty impressive.
Mm.
So before we get to the trial, let me tell you a little bit about the 5 men. The 5 men charged had over 50 prior convictions for offences including armed robbery, assault, larceny, car theft, breaking and entering, drug use, escaping lawful custody, receiving stolen goods, and rape.
And they were all did they all have charges like that against them, or that was just a collective?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
The short answer is no, that's the collective. But
Right.
let me tell you about John Travers. So he's the one who
With rape against him, perchance?
murdered. Oh, it's a long
List,
rap
right.
sheet. I'll give you just a brief overview. So John Raymond Travers was aged 18 in 1986 and was considered the ringleader of the gang.
18 years old.
18 years old, yeah. He was raised in relative poverty in Blacktown, the oldest of 8 children from unmarried teenage parents. By age 14, he was already an alcoholic and was expelled from high school during year 10 for being continually disruptive to other students. Now that I mean, I feel sorry for him there, right? He's grown up in poverty. He's an alcoholic at the age of 14, expelled from high school. That's where my sympathy ends. I just want to make that clear. Beyond schooling, Travers held few jobs and relied mostly on unemployment benefits as a source of income. He was eventually committed to Boys Town, a juvenile detention facility, by his mother. His father, with whom he never shared a close relationship, left the house in 1981. Finding it difficult to support the family, Travers relied on crime to provide food, such as stealing animals for the family's dinners, including chickens and ducks from nearby households. The health of Travers' mother eventually deteriorated, and he and his siblings were sent to live with foster families, while she was placed in hospice. Travers had a history of violent sexual behaviour against males and females, as well as bestiality. And get this, during the times when he resorted to stealing poultry for his family's meals, he is alleged to have sexually abused the birds prior to butchering them and cooking them.
Oh,
What?
Nice type.
That's just...
so gross. I
Oh.
was working on a joke about tenderising, but then I thought, no, I can't do it.
No, I think... thank you for not doing it.
Tenderising the parson's nose. No, can't do it, no.
Oh.
Revolting.
Like
Is that just made up, or is that true?
Can't
Oh,
even.
well, let me tell you this bit then.
Right.
Witnesses have also recounted that on several occasions, Travers had acquired a live lamb or sheep for butchering prior to a barbecue party, alleging that he slit the animals' throats as he sodomized and abused them sexually
Ugh.
before
What?
butchering and roasting the carcasses on a spit.
Okay.
Cheapers.
He's low.
Oh, well, I mean, aren't we just in the perfect territory of tick, tick, tick for a psychopath?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. Michael Murdoch was the other one who wasn't a brother. Was aged 18 as well in 1986 and was a childhood friend and criminal associate of Travers. He'd also spent a great part of his childhood in juvenile prisons where he experienced sexual assaults. And this makes me sad. He was known to have written to politicians during this period of imprisonment seeking protection from such assaults. So he's, he's only young and having bad things happen to him.
Yeah.
I think importantly, though, there's plenty of people who have these sorts of things happen to them that don't do what these men did. So I want to acknowledge what happened to them, but not at all
Excuse it.
use that as an excuse. Yeah. So then the Murphy brothers. Michael, Gary and Les Murphy, 3 brothers from an Irish-Australian family of 9 children, were also accused of the crime. Michael Murphy, aged 33, was the eldest of the 9 Murphy children. That just seems weird that he's hanging out with 18-year-olds, doesn't
Just
it?
Well, it sounds like he's got something wrong with him, probably.
Intellectually.
To be hanging out with 18-year-olds, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's not just hanging out with them, it's doing that sort of shit with them. Like something's not right.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously something's not right that they're even doing that. But anyway, he was sent to live with his grandmother when he was 12 years of age. Gary Murphy, aged 28, had a hearing impairment.
All the Murphy boys are a bit odd. Okay, right.
Yeah. So he had a hearing impairment which affected his schooling, and he left early to seek work. He was noted as being an able and willing worker before the crimes. Harry's strong interest in cars led him to facing several car theft-related charges in the years preceding the murder. Les Murphy, aged 22, was the youngest of the Murphy children and was known for having the worst temperament. He had faced children's court on many occasions for a number of theft-related offences before being accused of Anita's murder. So the trial began in Sydney on the 16th of March 1987, so roughly a year, just over a year later. Yeah. Before proceedings began, Travers changed his plea to guilty. The Sydney newspaper The Sun published a front-page story on the day the trial began, carrying the headline, "Anita Murder Man Guilty," alongside a large image of Travers. So they're basically saying he's guilty.
Can I just say, Anita Murderer Guilty?
Yeah, Anita Murder Man Guilty. Yeah.
Weird. Mm.
The news also referred to Michael Murphy as an unemployed prison escapee of no fixed address, and another in the same paper detailed Murphy's criminal convictions and his recent escape from Silverwater Correctional Centre, where he was serving a 25-year sentence for a string of burglaries and theft. So we were just talking.
So what, he escaped?
Yeah, he'd escaped from prison.
He's on the lam.
Yeah, he's on the lam.
Wow, how did he escape from prison?
Not in the lam.
Oh, that's his mate Travers.
Yeah.
He likes to baste his meat. Oh my
and
God.
then feed it to the family. Like,
Yeah, well,
come on, mate.
Extra protein. Anyway, come on, mate.
Come in.
Oh, stop it. It is too soon.
Yeah, way too soon. Obviously, in making all these references to Michael Murphy's prior crimes, the media had gone too far. And as a result, the jury was discharged due to the potentially prejudicial information published about Murphy. Mm. So can do what John Laws did, can't do that.
Well, John Laws just basically said this is what happened to this person. This is the horrific state
Here's
of the
crime.
facts
of the case.
Yeah.
Whereas this is prejudicing against a person who hasn't had their day in court. This is
Correct.
the thing, right? This is what I was saying earlier about where the media oversteps the line all the time about what's in the public's interest and what isn't.
Yeah. And there's some of what's in the public interest is timely. So you can't, there's nothing to be gained by saying all of that prior to the case.
That's
potentially afterwards. But yeah, at trial, details of the medical examiner's report were revealed. And again, you'll need to brace yourself for this. Because according to the report, Anita's body showed extensive bruising on her head, breasts, face, shoulders, groin, thighs, and legs, consistent with a systematic beating, including a blow of considerable force around the right eye. She also had lacerations on her hips, thighs, and legs from the barbed wire, several cuts to her neck resulting in the severing of her ear and windpipe, and near decapitation, and many cuts to her hands and fingers, resulting in the near severing of 3 of her fingers, which likely occurred when she raised her hands
she was trying to defend
her
herself.
face, trying to protect herself from the knife.
Defense wounds. Jesus.
The medical examiner later testified that after her throat was cut, she would have died within 2 minutes. He also testified that some radio bulletins purportedly based on his own report contained misinformation about the type and extent of Cobby's injuries. So it's given John Laws a bit of a slap on the wrist
otherwise
there.
Known as John Laws.
Correct. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Although potentially he's actually read out the report and then everyone else has reported on it and Chinese whispers have made it worse, so it could have been that. She was not mutilated apart from the slashing of her throat and hands. There had been no attack with a knife on her stomach or genitals, and her shoulders had not been dislocated. So that was some of the stuff that was being reported. The trial for the remaining members of the gang lasted 54 days, with the men's defence relying on convincing the jury of their minimal involvement in the beating and murder. Now, I didn't find more details on this, but presumably each of the men were saying it wasn't me, it was them. That's kind of what I read into that. On the 10th of June 1987, all 5 were found guilty of sexual assault and murder. And on the 16th of June, they were each sentenced in the Supreme Court of New South Wales to life imprisonment plus additional time without the possibility of parole. Justice Alan Maxwell described the crime as one of the most horrifying physical and sexual assaults This was a calculated killing done in cold blood. The executive should grant the same degree of mercy they bestowed on their victim. A little bit about the aftermath. So Anita's parents would join forces with Christine and Peter Simpson, the parents of murdered victim Ebony Simpson, to create the Homicide Victim Support Group Australia, a community support group that helps families deal with heinous crimes. The Lynches also campaigned in seeking tougher sentencing and truth in sentencing laws, which eventuated after Anita's murder. Anita's father, Gary Lynch, died on the 14th of September 2008, aged 90, suffering from Alzheimer's disease. And her mother, Grace, died of lung cancer in 2013 at the age of 88. The Lynches had been married for 54 years at the time of Gary's death. So I thought that was interesting that they had stayed together through all of that. You know how sometimes, particularly when it's that public, it doesn't last. So you know, they seemed like they were very, very good people. So as of 2025, John Travers was housed in Wellington Correctional Centre in maximum security. In 1996, he and another inmate were being transported from Goulburn to Long Bay when they attempted to escape from the prison van by hacksawing through and kicking in the back door. When the attempt was noticed, the van pulled over at Bowral Police Station and the two were arrested and charged. Since being sentenced, Travers has spent time in Long Bay, Parklea, Maitland, Goulburn, Grafton, Lithgow and Wellington correctional sentences. Hasn't he? He's done the big five.
All round.
I don't know if there is a big five of New South Wales jails, but sounds like he's done them. Yeah. Michael Murphy was housed in Long Bay Hospital in maximum security. Why did it say Long Bay Hospital? I'm assuming he was housed in Long Bay Jail. During his imprisonment, Murphy had been held in Long Bay, Maitland, Lithgow, and spent majority of that time in Goulburn until being diagnosed with liver cancer.
That could be why he's in Maitland Hospital.
He died in Long Bay Hospital on the 21st of Feb 2019 at the age of 66. Off your fuck.
How old was he? Sorry, could you repeat that?
66.
66. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
And which one was that?
That was Michael Murphy, the one who wasn't a brother and wasn't the slasher.
Oh, so he was
he a
young
Murphy
though.
or a Murdoch? I thought his name was...
It was sorry, he was one of the brothers. Sorry, I got that wrong.
The Murphy brothers. So was he the eldest or the youngest?
He was the eldest, I think. He was 30.
So he had 30 years in jail.
32-year-old, whatever it was. Yeah.
So he did 33
32 years in jail or something.
Okay.
As of 2025, Gary Murphy was housed in Goulburn Correctional Centre in maximum security. As I mentioned at the start of the story, and perhaps as some kind of karma reminiscent of a trial by wine punishment, he was severely beaten by several other prisoners in shower block of 10 Wing at the Metropolitan Special Program Centre at Long Bay and was transferred to hospital in a critical condition. On the 23rd of August 2020, it was revealed by the Daily Telegraph that Murphy had been moved back from Long Bay to Goulburn after being bashed. Since being sentenced, Murphy has spent time at Long Bay, Maitland, Lithgow, Junee and Goulburn Correctional Centres. As of 2025, Murphy was housed in Goulburn Correctional Centre in maximum security. Since being sentenced, he's spent time in Long Bay, Parklea, Lithgow, Grafton, Maitland and Goulburn Correctional Centres. Why do they get moved around so much?
No,
Does anyone know?
Say that. I wonder. I don't know. Probably to
Is it to stop them being
safe,
top dog or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be someone's going to bash them in the shower, so we better move them.
Very good question. I'd like to know. Who could answer that question?
Sure. Let's do some research on that, or maybe one of our listeners can.
Maybe our listener can.
That listener. Exactly. As of 2025, Michael Murdoch was housed in Goulburn Correctional Centre, so they're all hanging around in Goulburn. In maximum security. Since being sentenced, he's spent time in Long Bay, Parklea, Maitland, Bathurst, Lithgow, Junee and Goulburn Correctional Centres.
Every time you say that, I think of there's some song or something where it lists all the different...
Yeah, I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah. I've been to Long Bay, Parklea, Windsor, Maitland, Bathurst, Lithgow, Junee, Goulburn Correctional Centres. I've been everywhere.
Everywhere, man, yeah.
Yeah. After the death of Michael Murphy, as of the 22nd of February 2019, New South Wales Correctional Services confirmed the 4 other offenders were still alive and were still serving their life sentences in various maximum security correctional centres across New South Wales, but it could not be revealed where they were currently being housed, although I feel like I've pretty much done that. So
they were being somewhere different today than what they were yesterday.
You could possibly edit that bit out.
Which bit?
I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah. No, leave that in.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I Googled it while you were chatting. The reason they move around is access to services and sometimes for their own security. So
Yeah.
What
I was gonna say, it's not
services?
I don't know, facilities, services, sometimes it's to do with health. So if they're sick, they have to go to the hospital.
A specialist.
I doubt it's about rehabilitation, in fairness, with this
No.
but it could be security needs. So
I know it's more to keep them safe. Yeah.
like, so someone doesn't bash them. That worked.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, he was due to be transferred. We just didn't get around to
Sorry,
it.
but he didn't get bashed anyway. He fell over. Just
Yeah, repeatedly.
He fell on that soap and then it was all over the ground and he just kept falling on it. Yeah.
Yep. Now, as you can imagine, there's been numerous retellings of this story in the media. So it's been covered by several true crime television series and podcasts, now us, and has also been the subject of several books. In 1998, Australian social realist film The Boys is, in part, inspired by the Cobby murder and follows the journey of, you guessed it, 3 brothers leading up to a similar crime. 3 brothers. Oh.
Out of 9, though, Yeah.
Well, out of 9 children.
Yeah. The others were probably girls. Yeah.
How proud the sisters must be of their 3 brothers.
Ugh, awful.
A 90-minute documentary titled Anita was released in 2016 on the 30th anniversary of the murder. So that concludes my story. Over to you both for commentary and sentencing.
God.
Well, from the initial sentence, because I think it needs to be multi-layered, but glass rod for a start. Absolute glass rod, all 5 of them. I can't believe they haven't been glass rodded. It's just revolting. It's just, you can't even begin to try to get yourself into the mindset to understand what would possess a group of young men to do something so horrific and violent.
Totally unprovoked, just totally out of the blue, just something to do.
Just predatory and disgusting. You feel like perhaps, there were 1 or 2 leaders of the group who had more of that kind of predatory behaviour about them, and probably the others, followed along, but they're all culpable. Oh, so bad.
I'm sure a couple of them probably had had been raped by, people in some of their correctional facilities, whatever they were sort of talking about. But I still can't come at going, oh, well, if it's happened to me, then I'll do it to someone else.
I would have thought the opposite. It's happened to me. I know how horrible it is.
Right.
Do it to someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. And the notion of it being it's
not really sexual,
random.
Though, is it? It's just violence and control.
So violent against her, just absolutely destroying her.
Yeah.
It's not like it was just they raped her and then they went, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of her. They raped her. They beat her. Just
broke bones.
Broke her. Yeah, totally. It was like she wasn't a human. And I wonder because, I would hazard a guess, and I could be totally wrong, but I would think that the majority of people who had interfered with them at any point would have been men, not women. But there seems to be that thing again where...
Fury against women.
Against women for these men who have such horrendous upbringings. And it's like, they don't pick a bloke off. There were 5 men. They could have picked a bloke up, right?
Yeah.
But no. Always got to be a woman. And just...
Well, they're not gay.
They hate their mothers.
Oh, no, heaven forbid.
Oh.
But I think I sort of, looking at the year and when it happened, I couldn't quite place it. But I think I know why. Well, there's a number of reasons. A, proximity. So where this happened in Sydney is probably about an hour from where I grew up. So we were literally on the doorstep of Sydney. So I do remember it very distinctly. And also my age. So in February of 86, I would have been 12 and a half going into year 8 and pretty aware of what was going on and thinking I was pretty, worldly, and it would have probably been discussed and everybody would have had an opinion or whatever else. But I had thought there was something about it where I had in my mind, and I might be getting it confused with another crime, but it might also be to do with this kind of notion of things that were said at the time that became not really urban myth because she was totally brutalised. But I always thought there was something to do with a piece of pipe that had been,
inserted
into. And so there were all these things that have always stayed with me. I knew that her throat had been cut. I knew that she had tried to fight back. I knew that they just all had to go. But then it was just how they had, I don't know, just what they did to her. It wasn't just that they all raped her and went, yeah, your turn or whatever. It was not enough. It just went, the level of violence, I just don't understand it. I really don't. And it wasn't like, when they talk about some of these crimes and they go, we know they knew them because of the veracity and they can say, something has happened. They have done that. This is just some young girl off the train.
Just wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh my God. It's just so, it really, really
vile.
just haunts me, really. It's awful.
There's nothing revenge about it, or, that they really are just
monsters.
Sick.
Violence for violence.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just the lowest.
There's nothing that leads to this, that leads to that. There's a connection, or there's this, or it's just like, let's do this now.
And 5 of them doing it, like
they're just
how
scum.
you get that. We've done this before where there's like a husband-wife team or whatever, or there's 2 people who are doing stuff together. You go, God, how do they meet and sit around and go, hey, do you want to murder someone? How do they sit around and go, hey, let's get some random person off the street and we'll all gang rape her? And who just
fun.
goes, fuck yeah, let's do that. Can
you imagine how excited they were while they were doing all this? Amped up, egging each other on.
Yeah.
Imagine how feral it would have been. And that poor Anita's last, oh God, I mean.
And you wonder
imagine being
if
parents.
That's,
God.
Yeah.
It really is sick.
And it is difficult when we get to our trial by one sentencing type thing, because you kind of don't want to be, you don't want to lower yourself to the same standards.
No.
But you just want to pulverize them, as well. On the other side, you just think, I just want to inflict the same amount of degradation, humiliation, pain, agony, fear, and then
I don't know that you even can. I don't know that we
That's the
could.
problem, right? Yeah.
I don't think we can offer up a like for like, even in our macabre trial by one world where we have a bit of a giggle and try and think of,
really
something
awful
really
things
awful.
to do. Yeah.
I don't think there is anything like that. I think it's so
bad.
macabre what they've done that there's no,
And
you just have to think, gosh, I hope that there's karma in hell or something like that, because that's where you belong.
And the fact they were getting joy from it,
for sure.
Like just
a, boys' night out. Do you know anything about where they went afterwards or what they did? They went to the pub with them, I guess, or went to someone's house and drank. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and relived the story.
Yeah.
Till the wee hours of the morning or something.
Oh, did you see her face? Could you just imagine? Oh, my God. It's just so... And they were so young, the 2 18-year-olds in particular.
I know, 18.
That's really young. I know they wouldn't have been young. They would have been very experienced. I understand that, but still...
And probably somewhat broken themselves. But
it sounds like that Travers was damaged for sure.
But as you said, Schmitty, you think that they would go, I know what it's like, I don't want to do that.
There's no empathy in him. He's the one who cut her throat as well. Like that, he's a psychopath.
Chicken fucker. That's what he is.
And I've not come across one of those in
poultry fucker, because it wasn't just chickens. I think it wasn't.
No, it's true as ducks as well.
Yeah.
Well,
he's the Red Rooter.
Yeah.
He's a foul fucker.
The Red Rooter.
He's the Red Rooter.
He is a foul fucker.
Gross.
Do you have any? You probably don't, because you would have told us if you did. I'd be intrigued to know a little bit about how Travers had treated his ex-girlfriend. I wonder.
Yeah.
He probably isn't much on that.
I got the impression that she was pretty quick to say, yeah, I'll look into it. So I don't know whether he had done anything.
Which can go either way. Like sometimes they're so
scared
affected
that they won't
or whatever
do
else, they wouldn't.
anything.
I'm really genuinely surprised that she was as forthcoming as she was, straight up and wore the wire or whatever it was. I just
As you
think,
said, very
wow,
brave.
Very brave.
And also to go into
She's
hang
a
out
legend.
with 5 blokes who've committed something as disgustingly violent as that, and thinking these are guys who have done this, and still put yourself in a position where
totally.
you are.
I'm assuming she's probably had a
pretty
pretty shit upbringing herself. But they'll all be from the same, cut from the same cloth. These poor kids, the way they've grown up, but.
But that's what I thought about her, that bravery of going, God, it's still so raw what's happened, and she's going, yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yes, and she did it like straight up. It wasn't like it was months later or
do the right
that's
thing.
Right.
Good girl.
And it really was radio.
And obviously did
Who
it
knew she
in
was
such a way that she, but did it in such a way that she got them to confess too.
I know, right? She's
she
Extraordinary.
good on her.
The other thing that strikes me as interesting is they're all still in jail, which I like. Like it, you often hear that they get out early or whatever.
Yeah. No.
I'm pleased that the system has got that bit right.
I'm sure the
We're
general
not sitting here going, oh, there was no temptation in jail, therefore they're being good, therefore we'll let them out. It's like, no, you're in for the long haul, and we're not talking about that anymore,
Life means life for this 4. Yeah, 5. One's dead already. One cheated the system by dying.
Yeah.
But the others will have to just do the same. I mean, it's times like this that you do think if there is an afterlife and there is a hell, people, a special spot in hell for those guys.
Yes.
I
Someone
imagine
who's more vicious than us can come up with something really bad.
I think it's one of those things, and probably for the parents, I didn't see, any interviews or anything like that with them, but I imagine they held themselves with grace through the whole thing. And, rather than wanting to be vengeful or whatever, they were probably quite classy about the whole thing, if for want of a better word. But, I don't know, there's something quite remarkable about parents in that situation where they can just be so brave and so strong and not lower themselves to that of what the perpetrators have done. So maybe that's why it's a good thing not to sentence too harshly and just trust in the process, and the process seems to have dealt with it quite well.
Yeah, I have to say, if there's anything that has helped with this story, it's the fact that they were caught, they were exposed for exactly what they had done, they did get the sentence they deserved, they are still behind bars. So all of that, you have to take some solace in that, right? Because there's been plenty of crimes where we sit here going, what happened, and something didn't work, or someone's got out, as you say, or, the wrong person, or, it was unfair in terms of who got what. No, I think that we can at least tick those boxes and go, well, I'm comfortable with that, because there's nothing that we could do that would it would only sort of minimise what's happened to her. And I just can't, that's just horrendous.
I don't know. I feel like a painful castration is all right.
I think if in jail they were on a first floor cell and they had to be naked and slide down the stair rails, the banister. In them. Yeah. And no, I was thinking sandpaper.
Yeah, okay.
To just get them red raw, and then a nice little salt vinegar bath at the bottom.
Okay.
Do that every day on their way to.
The one bashing makes me feel a bit better, but I feel like, there's got to be some.
Shreddy's going to reach out to some of her contacts and see what can be done. But the hardest part's going to be working out what prison they are in from one day to the next.
Well, that's exactly right.
I had something worked out, but then what do you know? They weren't there.
Yeah,
they've been moved.
We could look at
Judy,
a couple of
Parkley, Long Bay.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. We could look at some of the prisoner/Wentworth ways of getting back at people, like the iron press.
The
old steam press.
That's the only one I know.
The original.
I've never watched it. That's all I know.
Queen Bee.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know, and I never watched the show, but I think everybody knows that. But I wouldn't know.
There was hot water ones too, where they scald them. Yeah. And I think a bit of kitchen hot plate action.
Yes.
Anything hot. Yeah, a bit of burn.
Yeah. And then the shiving, the constant shiving.
That's very common. Constant shiving.
That's a Katie Lang classic.
Yeah. I think that's
it. Probably is.
Constant shiving. I like it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I feel there has to be some pain. Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the sisters. They could have the sisters from Shawshank.
Oh yes. Yeah. Well, that's a given, isn't it? A bit of sodomizing, but
didn't one of them have hepatitis or something? Is that what they were? I think it was something like that.
Yeah. Or herpes,
if not,
or
one of them can.
Nasty. Yeah. And no access to antibiotics.
Medication.
That's right.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. I think. I mean, some of that probably is a given in prison. I don't know. Haven't spent any time there, thankfully.
I don't know. You wouldn't want to, would you?
Constant shiving is the.
Imagine being
in my mind now.
Imagine being.
I fell on the broom.
Oh,
that's what happened to old mate. As well as getting
on the broom 9 times. All right. Well, I didn't know that one, as I said at the beginning, and that was horrendous.
It's just brutal. Yeah,
that's just wrong. And sometimes you do wish that there was a Minority Report type thing, don't you? Because a beautiful person who was doing good in society just has their life horrendously, like, not just cut short, but in the most vicious and horrible way. And these assholes, yes, they're in jail, but they're still alive.
Definitely one of those crimes that changed the society within which it happened.
Yeah.
It really was a big deal. And, you know, that again, another level of innocence seems to have gone.
Stripped away.
That, you know, it was a big one.
Swanee, I don't know if you remember, but was there talk for you about, you know, the fact that she was snatched off the street after catching a train home?
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, we spoke about the Frankston murders, and I remember a lot of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. This was sort
fear
of...
that would have gone through society afterwards.
Yeah, and then we ended up with where I grew up, there was the Bulleye rapist. So we had that probably, I think, from about 88 onwards. I think I'd have to look that up. I've always purposely not chosen to do that. But there was a lot of stuff going on. But nothing was of the caliber, thankfully. Of Anita Cobby. People were going missing, people were being raped. You know, there were things that were happening, of course, but that was next level. And you know, frankly, a level all of its own, thank God.
Over quickly, but so brutal that it just changed society kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't like there were multiple serial killings or whatever that went over months. It was just bang and shocked and horrified everyone.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So pointless too. Just
100%.
Just awful.
Go and fuck chickens, mate.
Go fucking chickens.
Not that I want him to do that.
Or chicken, but you know.
Yeah,
we'll have Peter calling us. That's not what he meant.
Metaphorically, go fuck chicken.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of chicken fucking? Like,
never.
No, I wouldn't have thought they had big enough orifice for it.
And then feeding it up to your family.
I mean, but even that's just brutal too, you know. Like, actually, I have heard of chicken fucking, but
have you?
Yeah, on a podcast. I can't remember what it was about. But you would
how to fuck chickens? I don't know.
No,
you're listening to.
Chicken fucking 101.
Chicken fucking for dummies.
Chicken fucking for dummies.
And it might have been a conversation like this about how do you even do that? I don't know. I suppose they lay eggs, so they must have a large vagina actually.
Yeah,
a stretchy one. I don't know. It's not something I would ever think about. What's a cloaca?
Isn't it like a joint?
Poo and
nice.
Eggs and everything.
I don't think chickens have vaginas, from my understanding.
There's something. I don't know anything about chickens.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I think this.
I think you made that abundantly clear when you said they have big vaginas.
Well, to be fair, if they have, I've just never heard anyone talk about it. A chicken's vagina.
The G-spot.
Apparently, the term vaginal area is used in the context of the egg's passage through the hen's reproductive tract before it's laid. But you're right; they have a cloaca, not a vagina. What's
it called? A cloaca.
A cloaca.
I never heard the word.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's like you're eating chicken vagina. It's like, ugh.
It's like what is it? What's it when it's the same letters? It's almost like a koala.
On that note.
What a note.
As we say every week, miss you already.
Miss you like a chicken's vagina.
Oh, it is missing. Yeah.
I didn't realise that you could literally fuck it up.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.